Your uni, your team. From kick-off to the final whistle. This is the Shock Radio Sports Show.
Hello, I'm your host Freddie Beckett. Welcome to the Shock Sports Show. I'm joined with
Elliot Palmer,
Jim Peirson
and Charlie Butler.
And we're talking all things sport today, from Salford, FA Cups triumph, Brazil Grand Prix. We've got football, we've got everything lined up for you. All the sport. So, should we start with Salford FA Cup?
Let's go for it.
Let's
go for it.
About right.
We jump straight in.
Good win for them.
Great win.
Great win. Real good confidence off the back of 2 wins in the league, and they've taken that through to 4-2 on penalties against Lincoln. Left it very late. I mean, with that equaliser as well.
I can't pronounce it. Odo, the Udo. I can't remember. He's the top scorer. Yeah, top scorer, top assister. Who else was it going to be to put the ball in the back of them? Well, he didn't put the ball in, did he? He got the assist, scored the decisive penalty. So he did both. Show him what he does.
Fantastic. No, it was. I mean, they should. To be fair, in extra time, Lincoln went down to 10 men. Salford had so many chances just to put the game to bed. It should have been maybe 3-1 by the end of it, but they just unfortunately were very unlucky in front of goal and just couldn't seal the deal. But they managed to do it on penalties. I think it helped being having at the home end with all the Salford fans waving their arms like madmen at the Lincoln City players.
Yeah, Lincoln going down to 10 men via realistically quite like descent and then simulation.
I think his second yellow was a dive. It was just so silly.
Because he got he don't get 2 yellows in 2 minutes. Just complete head loss, utter head loss.
Oh mate, terrible.
Kick out 117 minutes as well.
Something like that. Just at the end of the game,
you've got 3 minutes left. Just behave yourself. But he didn't. We had Leighton Orient next.
Leighton Orient next.
Leighton Orient next for them.
Yeah,
be a good one.
And they're I think they're struggling in League One
compared
to what
they
were last season.
Yeah, last season Leighton Orient were
their recent
for
form.
Lincoln, they were 5th, and well, I wouldn't say they've blown Lincoln away, but they've held their own against them and beat them.
Yeah, Lincoln again this season have going really well, I think.
Yeah, they're 5th.
Nothing for the mighty Salford can't handle.
I mean, Cole Robertson, he said that they're building a team for League One, and they've shown that they're good enough to compete against teams in that league.
Absolutely.
He's right.
Yeah, Leighton Orient not in. I think they've won 2 in the last. They won their most recent game, but I think before that they won 1 in 5. The others have been 4 losses. Yeah. So they're, I think they're 14th, which as a Man United fan, I'm very familiar with that position and number now.
and a Spurs fan. Oof, dear.
And a West Ham fan.
We've all dropped stinkers here and there.
I won't sit here as a Man City fan and comment. This time last year, though, it was a different story.
Oh yeah, no. Almost recreating the it can. Oh dear.
It can.
Losing to Sporting Lisbon was not on my bingo cards last year.
God.
Oh dear.
I mean, Salford, they made. I know Lincoln made 7 changes, but Salford made 6 themselves. So is that a good sign for in the league?
Maybe.
You'd hope so. I don't see a world where Salford struggle based on recent form. I don't think they might not batter it and blow it away, but I don't think they're going to be fighting for their position in the league. I hope to see them go for playoffs.
I was going to say definitely at least playoffs, but with current form, two wins in the league, going through to the next round of the FA Cup, I think this is the start of good momentum for Salford, and they'll definitely be able to fight for those playoffs, if not automatic promotion, which is would be the dream. Always ideal, but playoffs would be well in the picture now. Yeah. Currently, even so early in the season, but.
Yeah, I mean, personally, as someone that's watched like lower league teams, I would rather see promotion through the playoffs than automatic promotion. But you also don't want to run that risk.
Yeah,
it's the best way to go up.
Yeah, the best way to go up is go in and win
through the playoffs. That is the best.
You don't want to run the risk, really, do you?
I just go back and think of Coventry City, Luton Town at Wembley.
Yeah.
On pens. Oh, that was very rough.
Sheffield Wednesday against whoever they played.
It was at Huddersfield.
Yeah, that wasn't the best game. The Peterborough game was the best game. No. They were 3-0 down based on the first leg, and they won 4-0.
Yeah. Then it was it like 5-1 in the end?
Something ridiculous.
Extra time. Yeah.
Something mental. That's where it's at. Play on
well,
where
when
it's at.
Middlesbrough, I think we got automatic promotion one year, but we had to draw to Norwich, and that game had everything. Like it was a 1-1 draw, and there was a massive pitch invasion.
Yeah.
It was the best day of me and my dad's life. We were just hugging each other in the kitchen. It was brilliant.
No one pitch invades for a point.
No. Yeah, but well, pitch invasion for a point. That was a vital point for us. But it was I remember the red card is an awful challenge. He just caught his studs right down his calf, and he just like ripped his skin. Oh, it's awful. But we pulled through and we got. But then again, that was possibly one of the worst seasons we've had in the Premier League ever. Again, but I think we did better than Southampton, so it's okay.
That's all right.
The only team that did worse than Southampton was Derby.
So yeah, exactly.
If you didn't do better than Southampton, then you're in trouble.
I don't know.
But whilst we were talking about FA Cup, I drew up some notable moments from the first round. So my first one was the Carlisle turnaround against Reading. Going into extra time at 2-0, the Carlisle fans, 306-mile journey home from Reading as well. They were thinking it was over until it wasn't.
Oh, goodness
90
me.
plus 3, 90 plus 8 to equalise, take them to extra time, and then win it. And it was all from the same bloke as well, scored the hat-trick.
I bet he was feeling pretty.
he has a right to gloat after that.
He's
Goodness
had quite
me.
a good evening.
He has had quite a good evening. Goodness, yeah, no. I mean, you'd just be absolutely.
As a football fan, I'd be sitting there, my heart.
As a neutral of that game, you'd think this is incredible, this is brilliant. But for both teams,
their fans would have been
the roller coaster of
rails.
emotions.
That would have been the longest drive back ever.
They lost.
Had they won or lost, I reckon.
Or lost.
That bus ride will have felt
Quiet.
That's why you never leave a football game early.
No, exactly.
It is the magic of the FA.
I don't understand leaving football games early, personally.
Well,
I
after-
refuse to do it. I never do it. Even though West Ham get battered a lot, I will never do it.
once United had
Never.
conceded 6 against Liverpool, I don't think there's much way they're going to turn this game around.
No. Well,
I wasn't at the game. I'd turned the telly on.
I think it's a bit different. They've paid, a lot of money to be
watch them
there
get
to watch
battered.
them get battered, which is, not
Yeah.
great. But I agree with Charlie. Leaving the game early is just a bit.
Especially in the FA
I
Cup.
mean, to be fair, at some grounds, the travel is awful, and like the congestion and West Ham, the stop go. I think Tottenham was awful getting out as well.
Yeah.
If it's like that and you're 5-0 down, then fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. I
Be
know.
the traffic.
Yeah.
I think it's 60th minute. You're 5-0 down. I think
Yeah.
We'll have a think about it.
Sheffield United have certainly been through it though this year with fans leaving.
Goodness me,
Chris
yeah.
Wilder back, and then they lost to Coventry last night.
Yeah.
Sheffield and
Well,
Sheffield Wednesday
they're
as
also
well.
going to-
Sheffield's just having an
Sheffield
absolute.
needs to stop playing football.
Yeah, they just need to just calm down. Just
up croquet, lads.
take
a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. Just have a think. Just
They
And-
play each other in a few weeks as well. Actually,
I know, that
at
is-
Hillsborough.
Be the only
Crazy
team to
game.
lose 0-0 for both teams.
yeah, be the only draw that they somehow,
Both
even though they've
lose.
got a point, it still feels like a loss.
And they still concede 3 each as well.
Exactly.
Draw
Yeah.
0-0
It'll be
and
the
concede
best
4.
game of the season. It'll be a 3-all thriller, but both of them will have
Both
lost.
of them will lose.
But now that Sheffield Wednesday have gone into administration, I hope that their fans actually come back to the games, because I remember one of the when Middlesbrough played them away. Like I watched the game and there was more away fans.
Yeah.
There was more Middlesbrough fans than there was Sheffield United fans.
At the Oxford game, it was
Sheffield
near
Wednesday,
a sellout. It was near a sellout, so they're well on board with it all. They spent, I think it was 200,000 within 24 hours of being
I mean,
put
the
into
club shop was
administration.
rammed with fans, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Putting money back in the club.
Impressive. So I think they're well on board.
I'm glad that they've, even though the protests were necessary, they weren't being run well. But I'm glad the fans have seen that, now that their club is, starting to change, they are putting money back in and want to, support their club again, which is good to see. That
And the
community.
thing for me was how quickly they changed the seats out in the stand.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my, that was like that.
That was unbelievable.
That was unbelievable. I mean,
Someone was live streaming it on X,
Yeah.
formerly Twitter,
Yeah.
and there were so many people watching it.
I think there was about 270,000 watching it, which is bonkers to see seats being removed in a stadium.
I know, yeah. And nearly 250,000 people watching it.
Yeah, quarter of a million
Seeing
people. Get the
Shamsiri taken
screwdrivers
out
out.
of the
Go on.
stand.
Come on.
Get down Sheffield with your rivet gun.
Well, that's probably the most excitement they've seen all season, really.
How
Getting those
many
seats-
can we remove in 5
yeah, I
minutes?
was going to say, yeah. You got 90 minutes, lads. How many can you remove?
That's
There you
tally
go.
board.
yeah.
Steve's got 48 in the last 10 minutes.
I
You're doing
know.
all right, Rivers.
Goodness me. Yeah. Get all the carpenters in Sheffield.
Steve Bracknell's down there.
But
His cream jacket.
yeah, I mean, we're on the Championship now. We might as well stay here because Stoke are high flying as well,
Yeah.
not just Coventry.
Yeah.
In part of that, Aaron Cresswell, from everything I've seen from Stoke fans, they love him. And he should have stayed in the Prem, I think.
Aaron Cresswell's one of them funny footballers you sort of forget exists for a bit, and then he just appears
Well,
out of nowhere.
I remember he had one great season because I had him in my FPL for like 15 weeks, and he just always ended up getting points from it somehow. Just it'll be 90th minute, and then suddenly from going from 2 points, he'll get to 6, and it's like, how's he done that then? And he'll magically, out of nowhere, just give me points, which is brilliant. But
He's like what Andros Townsend used to be.
how old is Aaron Cresswell?
I think he's 34.
I see. There you go. I don't know.
Is
I
that
think
what-
age
He's
is.
still very, very good though.
Oh, absolutely. But I think just maybe the age has tipped him over to the Championship potentially.
It's like what someone like Andros Townsend used to be. You'd sort of forget he existed, and then when his team needed a hero, he'd score a volley from 7 million yards against
I mean,
Man
he
City.
went
Just like one top in
just straight back on the volley.
for no reason. It's like they will just have a random footballer that will just go, yeah, sound, and then score a hat trick.
Cool. Yeah. Brilliant.
They're the best kind, aren't they? Like the journeymen that end up at random teams.
And then just do incredible.
And they just unbelievable. We had at AFC File. They got a player that used to play at Blackpool. He was an England B teams international, and then just ended up in the non-league on loan.
Yeah.
Scored 15 goals in 6 months, and then never appeared again. They're like the best types of footballers. It's great.
And whilst they are high flyers in the Championship, Norwich, is it 6
Struggling.
losses in a row now?
Yeah.
They're right at the
Struggling.
bottom, and they've got quality players as well to be that far down in the relegation zone.
Yeah, I thought they'd do better because of what Liam Manning did with Bristol City last year, but it's just not worked out.
Not worked
Yeah,
at all.
one more loss. Delia Smith will be back in the centre, so. Where are you again?
Oh dear.
I was surprised he's not been sacked yet, though. In today's style, I'm surprised he's not gone.
Yeah. Although I suppose the Championship's slightly different. The Championship's sort of the last league where you think this is how managers should be.
But that's what Frank's revitalised his career as a manager because he's just gone to Coventry and just done well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that was, to be fair, that was his probably last opportunity. So fair play to him. But no, there is. I think with 6, I think you get a bit more leeway in the Championship with losses.
To back them more.
Yeah.
Where you can lose 6 in the
Because
Premier League for most
I
teams.
You're right, yeah.
like there's not a lot of managers that will want to be put in the Championship. I don't know.
No.
I'd feel as though that's like
It's a bit like when
it's a
Anthony Taylor got
difficult
relegated
one.
to the Championship for one weekend and then came back. It was everywhere. It went massive because you had to referee Coventry versus Bristol for one weekend, and then he was back for Liverpool United the next week. I think United won that game.
He was still blasted by the Coventry fans for doing a bad job.
You know what I don't get, though? You know, Southampton sacked Will Steele. I thought he'd get given more time because I just think he's a good manager.
Yeah.
But why would Frank Lampard then go from Coventry to Southampton?
I don't
Apart
understand
from family lives down there. Which, I mean, they
And-
might.
and
But
they've been
he's been into Southampton.
And the same for Mark Robbins, who's at Stoke,
Yeah.
also in the top 2.
Also, yeah, I know. Also having a
I-
great season with the teams, it would feel ludicrous to. But then again, but it's weird because Southampton, like, I mean, they've obviously been shocking this season.
Oh yeah.
But like they took Finn Azaz from Middlesbrough, who was incredible. If Adam Armstrong could actually finish, they maybe they could be a little bit
If
higher.
Alex
but
McCarthy could actually save goals.
yeah.
They hired footballers rather than look like footballers.
Well, apart from Finn Azaz, it's I don't know. It's a difficult one. You'd expect Southampton to sort of still be, but they're looking to do a double relegation like Luton.
I
again.
don't think they'll go down. Do you reckon, though, Russell Martin was linked? Do you think managers should go back to their old clubs?
Not Russell Martin,
I don't
Southampton.
think
That
Russell
stint
Martin
was
should.
not very good.
I think that
Well,
he might act like the Rangers fans are going to kill him. I think.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think he'd get
if
them
he,
at all.
I don't think he'll get the sort of guard of honour that he thinks he will if he goes back to Southampton.
To be fair, in the Championship, he did well. He got promoted over a league side that had a bigger budget, better players. He's just in the Premier League, so whether Southampton could look to get him in for this season, go up, and then bring someone else in.
Maybe.
Could be.
I mean, I wouldn't mind taking Alex Ferguson back, but I don't think it works like that all the time.
No.
Right. So shall we just take a break real quick, go for a song, and then we'll come back. We'll get a bit of Formula 1 in. We'll get a bit of rugby league in. Why not?
Brilliant.
Be back in a second.
Go.
That was Take On Me by Our Heart. Welcome back to the Shock Sports Show. We're going to talk about Formula 1 now. Huzzah.
Well, I'll just put my feet up then, boys.
So it's the Brazilian Grand Prix
Yes,
this
it is.
weekend at Interlagos. Iconic track that it is.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to
You're
it.
looking forward
As a
to
bit of a Max Verstappen fanboy. He loves that. He loves that track. 2 races. A much closer top 2 now than it was when we were here last time.
Yes.
And we said that Oscar Piastri was going to win by a landslide, and now he's not winning at all. But
Only by 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point.
Lando
in it, so it's
Norris,
much
Lando
closer
Norris
now.
leads the championship by
By
1
1
point
point.
to Oscar Piastri.
This would be a very, very fun weekend, especially if last weekend was anything to go by when they were all crashing into each other and running over marshals.
It's the only reason why I like F1. Just that first corner after
Just
the
to watch
start
them.
of every race.
Especially
I just watch one like tyre spin or something. Just take someone's back out, back end out, and just
batter into each other.
Especially that Cota first corner where they go.
Max
For
Verstappen
people
driving over who?
that are clueless on F1 like me, how much is 1 point in scoring? It doesn't seem
Quite
like a lot at
so,
all.
yeah, it's not really. So the top of all the races, the top half all get points. And top one, I can never remember when I have to. Is it not something like 8 points top and first place gets?
What, in a sprint race?
Yeah, no, for a Grand Prix.
I suppose it like one place
Yeah.
in a race is a point.
Yeah, essentially. So it is
That's
close.
tight.
It can easily be flipped over.
Oh yeah, if 1 point is finish 10th, you get 1 point.
Yeah.
So then
Well,
you're
that's
immediately on par.
Tight.
it is a close championship.
Yeah, so if Oscar won and Lando was second, Oscar would then take the championship lead.
Squeaky bum time.
Yeah,
It
it is.
really is. It really is.
as they say, neck and neck.
Yeah, and has been for about 6 weeks as well, which is what's made this season
I know,
so
and
good.
as you are a Verstappen fanboy,
I am
he
indeed.
is not far behind.
No, and he's not far behind, especially on a track that he likes. He's been notoriously good in Brazil. I mean, he's been notoriously good everywhere, except what we said was America. Or what I said was America.
You don't pull us into this.
No, I meant we as in me and him. We said, oh, it's America. Max Verstappen doesn't really like America, and then he won everything.
And I'll say never count Verstappen out.
Never count Verstappen out.
I'll never count him out.
We didn't do that last week either, I promise. But it'll be very good watching him in Brazil this week with a lot more of a vengeance than usual, because he's always driving with a bit of a vengeance even when he's winning. It'll be good fun. And Charles Leclerc climbed
Ferrari themselves, yeah.
climbed the leaderboard last week, so that'll be good to see whether that was a nice little fluke for the Pranzanosa, whether they're finally starting to get it. Be an unfortunate time really for them to start to get going, but it'd be better than for them to not do this year. But again, Lando and Piastri will be the focal point. I think will be until that gap really closes between Max and them. But that will be a big thing.
And going into Brazil, on a technicality, 2 Brazilians taking part. Bortoleto, obviously, and then Lewis Hamilton as an honorary Brazilian.
An honorary Brazilian.
Yes. Lewis is a 7-time world champion.
Yeah.
Don't count him out ever. Obviously, he struggled in the Ferrari this year.
Yeah, it's so hard talking about Lewis this year because it's Lewis and you want him to be good. He is English Formula One. I think
He is our star boy for so long. It's sad to see him sort of dip in quality, really.
Yeah, because you don't expect it. I certainly didn't expect like Lewis Hamilton to ever not be first place every race, no matter where he is.
Absolutely.
But then for him to just what feels like a massive fall off straight away. But again, he is in a new team. He's 7-time world champion, but that means he's at least 7 years older than he was when he started doing that. He's an older Lewis Hamilton than he was. He's in a new car, a team that's not really built around him, whereas he was the Mercedes star boy for so long, as he would have been. So,
But still finishing. Did he finish 5th in the Mexican Grand Prix?
Yes.
That's still, for someone who we think is sort of not at his best.
Yeah.
5th still seems pretty good.
I mean, Ferrari themselves also have been improving
They've
throughout
been
the
getting
course
better
of the
and better.
season, as well as Mercedes as well, with their two drivers that do like to crash
They do like
into
to crash
people
into
every
each
now and
other.
then.
And usually,
Let him know you're there.
yeah,
So.
George will crash into someone and then blame the person that he crashed into for being in his way. Usually,
But yeah, Lewis Hamilton is really an old man in
He
a young boy sport
as far as
nowadays.
he goes,
And
him and Alonso really are.
and
batting
Alonso's
for
had
the
a very
past.
tough year as well.
Yeah, it's so because they are icons, and Alonso was he's the same as one of the reasons I like Max Verstappen, because he was just so fiery all the time. He'd have chopped his legs off if it meant he could win races. So to see them go and not be as competitive, I mean, he said in the interview relatively famously that corner with Michael Schumacher that he knew Michael Schumacher would break because he had kids at home, and Like that was how fiery and feisty Alonso used to be, and then he's not that anymore. So to watch them not be
Do you
the same
think
as they were is a bit.
Do you think they will return, or do you think it's just a steady decline that, or well, maybe not a steady decline, but a decline that you can't bounce back from?
Alonso, I don't think is going to be the same Alonso again. Hamilton,
I don't know how many years Alonso's got left.
No, I don't.
I guess we'll see what the Ferrari's like next year with the new cars coming in.
Yeah, and potentially Charles not being there.
I can't see
I
that
don't
not
see it happening, but there's the rumours of him leaving. So when Charles goes, if Lewis is the more main driver, will that bring him back again? But
Will they start like Mercedes did? Will they start centering themselves around him and make
Yeah.
it perfect for
Or would
him?
Ferrari make
What,
a
around
move for a younger
Hamilton?
driver instead of
Yeah.
them?
Well, centering around Hamilton. Would that be a risk though, because of his age?
it depends. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Should they make him the main one, maybe he'll
Yeah.
return to his former pedestal of just godlike status. But
Sort of what is the retirement age for an F1 driver? I couldn't really
Well,
pinpoint it.
I'd say Alonso's past it now.
Yeah. Oh.
He's well past the
What is
Formula
he
1
about-
retirement age
is
of
he about
modern stuff.
38?
yeah, Alonso's 41, is he
He's
not?
he's
41,
in his 20s, yeah.
That he'd be
And
long
Lewis
past it
isn't
for a
very far
footballer.
behind.
Like,
yeah.
So
So
for-
Buffon's still playing.
yeah, men that are losing 200, like,
Yeah.
so burning
I
so
mean,
many
Alonso
calories a
retired
race.
from Formula 1 what feels like almost 10 years ago. And then he
He's
came
still
back.
there.
And he's,
Yeah, I think Michael Schumacher and it's miles back and Alonso. I nearly said Xabi Alonso then. And Alonso is still racing against people now.
If they were to decline that much, is there like instead of the main races where you have all the big names like Verstappen, is there a lower quality race they could go and just why not?
There's not
You know what I mean?
so there's Formula 2 and there's like Formula 3 and 4.
for
but
Formula 1 drivers that retire, obviously, Fernando Alonso, when he retired in Formula 1, he went to endurance racing. And he won the 24 Hours of Le Mans multiple times with Toyota. That's what he did. He also went to do IndyCar, and he tried to win the Indy 500 and become the second ever driver to get the
do
Triple
that.
Crown. But the Honda engine that he had in IndyCar again failed him, like it did in Formula 1.
Just Alonso,
History repeats itself.
Alonso and
History repeats
Hondas do
itself.
not go near each
So
other.
the Triple Crown will never come for Alonso. But for Lewis, I'm not sure
Oh,
he
yeah.
would. He would
I don't think
move
he'd do
to
that.
sports car racing. I think if he'd finished Formula 1, he might quit.
You'd quit as Lewis Hamilton.
He'd
You
quit
would just
as
quit as an old man retiring.
Yeah,
You'd
'cause then
literally
there's
be
that
the
risk
god of
sort
F1.
maybe going to a different sort of racing sport, failing in that,
Yeah.
and then that's what you're known for.
Tainting his legacy.
The man who
Yeah.
retired from being one of the greatest F1 drivers England would ever see to a sort of shell of his former self in endurance racing, say.
What I do love when F1 drivers go to other, so I wanted to talk about it when Max Verstappen did like a GP race or something like that, wasn't it? He was shown by an instructor how to drive the track, but he had to do 7 practice laps because he'd never done GP before, and then he won the race by 25 seconds.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
he did a GT3 race
Yeah.
with his own team around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. The competition wasn't very stiff at the top end,
No.
but he did win with his teammate Chris Lullen by quite
by
a
a
long,
relatively convincing way.
quite a long margin. So I'm going to ask the 2 important questions: who's winning this weekend, and who takes the championship?
Oh, I knew
Elliot?
there were. I knew there was.
Elliot?
I knew
So
there
is
was
this the
questions.
so is this Brazil Grand Prix?
Yeah,
the last one?
who's going to get the win this weekend? But who do you think will win the championship
All over.
overall?
Overall, all right, okay.
Any thoughts?
This weekend, Max, I think, isn't going to let himself lose. And if it does so have to, he will kill Lando before the race starts, just by it so he wins by a technicality.
Just puts a match in his petrol tank or something.
Just
Throw him off a bit.
puts a needle in the tyre as he goes around.
And
This
your champion?
weekend, Max, this champion. It's a horrible question.
I know, it's horrible. It's just got to be asked.
I just see Lando. I just don't see anybody. As much as I want Max to win,
Yeah.
I don't see anybody but Lando lifting it now.
Who
I don't
is it?
think-
Oh, there's Lando Norris.
Lando
and-
Norris is top, then it's
Oscar
Oscar
Piastri,
Piastri
and
second,
then Max
and then
just
Max
behind.
Verstappen is third by
How far behind is Max Verstappen?
25 points.
21, something
Yeah,
like 21 points.
not
It's
a
not
lot of
far
points.
away.
No.
It's
But
doable.
is
But
he
with only,
relying
what, 4
on
races
the
left and
others
stuff?
to drop off a little
Yeah,
bit?
so
Yes.
Max and Oscar realistically need to not finish a race.
Well, they
Yeah.
need to crash into each
Yeah.
other like they did in the last race.
And in Canada. So it does happen.
It has happened and it will happen.
But
What-
yeah,
what-
I don't see Lando not
What are we
winning.
thinking over here?
I just like Oscar Piastri.
No, I don't blame you. That's what
It's a lovely man.
Keep it nice and simple.
This is a get for this weekend. It's
Yeah.
a complete guess because I don't know enough about
Yeah.
it. But I'll go Max Verstappen.
Okay. And your champion? I know it's a tough question.
I'll go Lando Norris.
Okay, fair. And I'll sit here and I'll say Charles Leclerc to win in Brazil, and Oscar Piastri to win the championship.
Yeah.
Definitely not Lando. No, I don't want that.
I don't want Lando.
I don't want Lando
I think
to
he
win it.
will. I want Max. I really want Max to win.
So-
He'll be 7-time
Yeah.
champion if he wins again, which is unbelievable.
Right,
But
brilliant.
I can talk about Max for ages, so let's move on.
So shall we move away
Yeah,
from Formula
shall we
1? Shall we move away?
Let's get us two involved.
Let's go to
Please.
the rugby league now. And is it 22 years? Is it since the rugby league Ashes?
Yeah.
So-
Since it was last played, yeah.
Yep. England, Australia, men's rugby league test, 3 games. England have already lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Australia didn't need all 3 games.
They have been
Let's
battered.
England
Let's
were
be
bullied.
honest, Reece Walsh for Australia put England to bed.
He could have
And
put
they
that
tucked
game
him
on
in,
his own.
read him a bedtime story with a glass of warm milk and a cookie.
Pat on the head at the end.
That man was unplayable in both of the games. He was incredible. He scored 2 tries in the first game and was an absolute nightmare in the second game, just breaking England's line. Like, they just couldn't put him down, and they just couldn't keep him down. He was the only time he was off the pitch was when he got a sin bin, but even then they just couldn't find any opening in England. I mean, it was really.
Yeah, England was suitably washed.
Yeah, the first game ended 26-6, and then the second game was a little bit of something, which was 14-4. So at least we didn't get horrendously.
Yeah, relatively.
Yeah, it was
relatively.
relatively
It was
all
quite
right.
good.
Yes.
It was 2-2 for quite a while. I think both
England's
both
first
both
period.
teams had got penalties, and England seemed actually pretty strong. But then just after that, just could not find the try line.
That first period for England in the second game, especially, was really quite good. They just couldn't put the ball on the floor, and then after that, they just made error after error, and Australia was really, really
I saw something before the Ashes started that said it would almost be more embarrassing to Australia than England if it didn't finish 3-0.
Yeah.
Is that how
They didn't
big the
roll
gap
them
is?
over.
Yeah, that's the sort of skill gap between the two teams. That if it was 2-1 and England somehow scraped a victory, then that's poor on the Australian team.
The English pundits' technique is we're not going to win, so at least let's not lose.
Yes.
It was great for the Ashes, rugby league Ashes, to come back, but England were never gonna win it. But I hear the Ashes also had an interesting event happen.
Yeah, well, there was a pitch invader for the second game. His real name is Daniel Jarvis, but he goes online by Jarvo69, and he was spotted at the far end of the Australian team as they were lining up for the national anthem, and was there with the national anthem. He got detained by police on charges of fraud, apparently.
Identity.
Identity theft, basically, yeah. But from when I saw the pictures, I thought I just thought like, oh, he's just
They've got a new prop.
I was gonna say, well, he's a pretty big lad, so he's probably. I was thought, oh, he's just gonna be at the back of the scrum. That'd be grand. But no, and then no, this isn't his first incident.
No, he's done it before. He's a prolific.
This man is a prolific pitch invader, and even the Australian national team didn't realise it was him until the end of the anthem. They said in an interview after the game, but no, he dressed up as a GB athlete to crash the closing ceremony of the 2024 Olympics last year. He interrupted the Liverpool and Wolves game in the FA Cup. He also was at the Euro 2024 draw. He also did the same thing that he did to Australia's, but the All Blacks lined up with them for their national anthem, and then also, and I think this is the maddest one, celebrated with the 2022 winning Real Madrid side post-match for their Champions League. That is.
He's also stood on the field with a bat for the cricket game.
Yes,
that's at the crease.
At the crease, it was. Yeah. So I mean, is this
This is a sport in itself.
At this point, you give him a round of applause.
It's
Got it.
impressive.
The fair play. I mean, I think how he's managed to get onto the podium at the closing ceremony of the Olympics by having the perfect embroidery that the GP badge. Like, what sport does the security think he was playing? That's my question, because I don't want to be mean to the guy. He doesn't look like a professional
he's not a
athlete.
sprinter.
And there was also a picture of that he posted on social media of him with the French president Emmanuel Macron saying me and Macron made it to the Olympics,
Yeah.
something like that.
How's he done that then?
People I feel.
This is what I'm saying. How's he done that?
The people you feel for the most are the ones that aren't really into social media but are into sport, because they must think he's the world's greatest athlete. He's done everything. He's in the rugby team, he's in the cricket team, he's in the British team. He's everywhere.
If you don't look into it too much, you must think, you know, he bats third for England. He's at the back of the scrum for the rugby.
Yeah.
He's a national athlete.
He's
for
Real
the
Madrid
Olympics.
starting left back as well.
Exactly. No,
I
he's
think
a goal, maybe.
Sports Personality Award of the Year is on the card.
Oh,
I think genuinely, I'd
he's
vote for
definitely
him.
on the undercard at least.
If
He'll be seen as the ring lady at Anthony Joshua's next fight or something.
It'd be like when
That's what it'll
Ruiz
be.
beat him, it'd be Java knock him one clean.
Or he'll be going to like one of the Misfits boxing and he just goes to Jake Paul and bams
Just
him.
clarts him.
Yeah.
if he were to actually play a sport, which one would he be best at out of all the ones that
darts.
he's pitching rated?
Darts.
Oh, he's done that as well.
What?
He's got up on the
darts
stage
as
at
well.
Ali Pali and
Yeah,
lifted
yeah.
the trophy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how he's
It's impressive.
But the biggest thing that I noticed when he did it was how unarsed the Australian players looked.
No,
You sort of
no,
looked
well,
at they were
that's
just
what
in
they
the
just didn't
line.
know.
Well, because
In fact, at one point they moved him so he was stood behind one of the kids.
Well,
So
yeah, he was
like,
because
yeah,
because they thought that they must have just done so. They must have just helped the fan come out and do that. But no, he's just come out.
He's
and
there.
He's just
there.
he's just a yob.
He's just but no, but it didn't stop. It didn't distract the Aussie players.
No, they were still-
The man from Kent didn't do enough of a distraction. Unfortunately.
He'd probably have done better on the pitch for
Probably
England
was.
than he would have done being an invader.
Well, probably, yeah. To be fair.
So England have now scored a massive 1 try in 160 minutes, which is unbelievable. Australia have scored 6 in 2 games, so that's just the.
And with one game to go, I can't see England getting the win.
No, I think it will be quite a heavy battering. I think George Williams called it a reality check.
The only way England have a chance is if the team bus for Australia gets a flat tyre.
Yeah,
That is the only
Australia
way.
don't turn up.
If Australia don't turn up and have to say, look, lads, we're going to have to forfeit, that's the only way I see England winning. Because if Reece Walsh stays in the form that he is currently across those first 2 games, he's going to absolutely just tear them apart again. I mean, the first try he scored, he literally swan dived. Like, it was like up here like that and just slammed it into the ground. Like it was just so easy to get through.
We did. I mean, it's a very English way to. Well, of course we're going to win, but they did play a good first period against that. In the second game, especially the first game, they were pretty diabolical.
Yeah.
But the second game, they didn't play badly in the first bit. That's his first bit because I didn't want to say period for the 14th time in a row because it felt like when you say stairs over and over again, it stops being a word. But that first, they were all right. They just couldn't put the ball down.
No.
So they've shown a bit of life, but I don't think it's nearly
No, we
enough.
don't think so.
I think they're going to get battered again.
Going to get battered. So we got the Brazil Grand Prix this weekend. It'll be interesting. Maybe Max will win. Maybe Lando will win.
Yeah.
We're not sure. And then we got the Rugby League Ashes,
And
which
almost
England
certainly
have.
Australia
Almost
will
certainly
win.
we will lose.
They've essentially already lost.
I put good money on Australia. Destroy.
Yeah.
I'd put bad money on Australia. I'd put all of the money.
I'll tell you what. I'll put money on England not even scoring a try. Maybe
Oh,
like a penalty or
dear.
something.
Yeah.
Like, not even a try. I think it'll be like 20, 22.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Something
It'll be a lumping.
So up next, we're going to talk about Premier League, Champions League. We're going to talk about football.
All of the football.
They'll be coming up after this quick intermission. And welcome back to the Shock
What a
Sports
segue.
Show. What a segue into it. Well, we're just gonna go straight back to football.
Of course.
We're gonna love it.
course,
We got
yeah.
Premier League, Champions League, all of it. Sorted.
WSL.
as well. I mean, where to begin? Really well. Let's just start. Well, let's start with the
Liverpool won a game.
I know. Well, Premier League. So Brighton, Arsenal, Palace, Fulham, Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham, and Man City all winning. The only draw of the weekend coming between Man United and Forest, who share the points. The 3-0 loss to Fulham sees Vitor Pereira out of a job at Wolves.
Yes.
Now it's a long time coming. Only having 2 points at the bottom of the table and losing 8 out of their 10 games played. So. Wolves. Where do Wolves go from here, really?
They've drawn the 2 that they haven't lost as well.
And
Rolling back to
Spurs gave them one of their 2 points. I don't want to talk about it though. But then Arsenal as well with their Champions League win last night have now
Eight clean sheets.
Eight clean sheets in a row, which
that is ridiculous.
I think I saw somewhere that's a record that hasn't been broken for like 100 odd years.
Yeah,
or something like that, which is incredible.
Crazy.
And with their win over the weekend, they stay top of the table, 25 points, 6 clear of Man City, here in second.
I think there's a chance, because especially with the record they've got, we're going to talk about it later on, but they might well put themselves in conversation for one of the best. If they win the league this year, potentially one of the best Premier League teams we've seen.
Like, it depends.
Yeah.
To
Well, you've
not
got to
concede
think,
this many.
this season, are Arsenal running away with it? Can they be stopped? Who stops them?
It's so easy to say Arsenal are going to bottle it, innit? But
I don't think so with this current form. But
I personally think Arsenal run away with it. I think they've got that still about them, and whether they're not doing it too early with the 1-0 set pieces. I mean, people say they don't score enough goals, but
goals are goals.
They're scoring a lot of goals. They're winning 3-0. They beat Leeds 5-0.
Ball goes past the line, it goes past the line. Doesn't matter
But
how.
I think I saw a stat somewhere that 28% of their goals are scored from open play in the Prem this season.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think.
yeah, no, well, they're first in set piece goals, but then like 16th
Yeah.
in open play
It's
goals.
mad,
It's
'cause
mad.
it's
Teams
crazy.
can complain all they like. You've got to start defending them.
Uh,
You
you
can only
got
be
to
what's
get
put
good
in
on
front of
corners.
you.
People have got to get good on corners, but
prior
then
to the weekend, last weekend just gone, they were bottom of the league for percentage of goals from open play.
yeah,
Like,
that's insane.
You can
And
only
then
How are you still below Wolves?
Yeah.
In that sense, who
Haven't scored.
hadn't really scored at all. But
could've-
also another interesting one. Newly promoted side Sunderland sat fourth
Unbelievable.
in
Yeah.
Champions League
Unbelievable for
spots.
Sunderland.
flying.
Goodness me, we've not seen a newly promoted side do so well in so long with the last couple of seasons.
Since
Then-
Wolves from a couple of years ago.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, just seeing the newly promoted teams go straight back down the past.
I thought
Yeah,
this
we've
was-
got
I
really
thought that
used
was
to
what-
that now.
This is I think new war.
I
Testing
thought
new
that's
waters.
what Sunderland were going to be. I thought they were going to come up and then get
Oh, yeah.
stamped
I
back
don't
down
think anyone
again.
else
But
thought any differently.
they have done so
They also had a
well.
great window as well. Granit
they
Xhaka,
do.
what
What
a
a
signing
signing.
that's
Oh my
been.
God, that is. I didn't. It's one of those signings where you just don't expect it.
No.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, he's incredible. How he went. Jack has gone from a invincible Bayer Leverkusen side in the league to now
Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Oh my good lord.
But goodness me, has he been incredible for them? He is that stability in that midfield for them, and I think it's just a key point to them being in fourth.
Yeah, I picture Granit Xhaka and I picture 40-yard back passes to Bern Leno, swearing at Unai Emery and a fan, and then storming off the pitch. I don't imagine it being.
And then going in for a 2-foot tackle and saying it's not ballet, it's football,
It's
and then
football,
getting red carded.
yeah. Not as the star holding midfielder in currently fourth place.
I know, yeah.
I think Granit Xhaka is when Burnley came up and they signed a load of young players. I think Granit Xhaka is the player that they didn't have that they needed.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean,
like Brentford have like Jordan Henderson, even though he's sort of
he's not.
ancient.
He's been past it for the last decade.
Yeah, Brentford is still doing well.
But
with
yeah,
him.
he's playing really well for them.
Exactly, he's doing really well for
And
Brentford.
there was a
up
moment
Man
during
United.
the Everton game. I believe it was Siddiqui in the midfield where he completely lost his head. Absolutely smashed one of the Everton players in the air. And the likes of Granit Xhaka and I think it was Michele just went over to him and said, yeah, "Chill out." It's like they've signed young players, but they've got that bit of experience.
Yeah, of course.
And if Granit Xhaka's telling you to chill out
If
as
you-
well,
oh, you've done something
you've
bad,
done something
yeah.
pretty, but you never saw Roy Keane go, chill out.
No,
Calm it down.
exactly. No, he was looking to stamp Alfie Haaland again.
Yeah.
And then this weekend you got all the top four playing against each other as well.
I was
know,
just about
yeah,
to
that
touch on
was-
this weekend's
yes.
game: City, Liverpool, and Spurs United.
Spurs
is it?
United, yeah,
And
on
then
Saturday.
Sunderland.
Sitting between a Spurs fan and a United fan.
Yes, yes.
What are we thinking about that game?
I think.
I
Well,
think it'll be close.
It'll be very close. I think obviously Man United finding a bit of form now, and now Spurs still with a bit of teething issues under Thomas Frank. I think it could be pretty close. I mean, with the 4-0 win last night against Copenhagen, yes, admittedly it was against Copenhagen, and they weren't incredible. Like, we still showed tenacity. We wanted to pass forward, which was a big change from the Chelsea game where we couldn't even we had like 0.05 XG or something in that Chelsea game. Like, we just didn't pass forward. It was awful. You heard the boos in the stadium, but I think that Mickey Van der Ven solo goal last night has sparked something in
really has.
the Spurs. That's like Son-esque. It was incredible.
Yeah, you've talked about United. We've been talking about Ruben
Well,
Amorim's
he was going to get his
tactics,
hair
but-
cut until.
Yeah,
the
I know
Forest
exactly.
game.
Literally,
Devastating.
that's now they're not going to win because they don't have to win for anything anymore. Because what's the Premier League when you could have had the United strand having his hair?
Exactly, I
Who
know.
cares about the trophy? But United have had poor tactics under the last 4. They're literally the only tactic they need to have this weekend is make sure Mickey van der Ven does not get the ball at any point.
Yeah,
Because
he did it before last season.
It's unbelievable.
And Postecoglou, yeah. Well, I think another thing we need to, maybe could discuss is Liverpool being in 3rd despite losing 4 in a row.
Yeah, and
like,
how have they done that?
Because they've not drawn any. They've won the ones that they haven't.
They've
won 6,
I
lost
suppose
4.
that sort of, what was it, 5-game sort of streak at the start of the season had sort of set them up.
Yeah.
They were well ahead of the pack, and then obviously, even though losing 4 in a row, they've still bounced back.
City knocked them back down because they won against a very titchy win against Aston Villa. I don't know what Emiliano Martinez was thinking, kicking the ball to Mohamed Salah inside essentially the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
But a very titchy win over Villa, is that going to be enough to get them going again?
I don't know. They looked pretty confident against Real Madrid. If Thibaut Courtois wasn't in between the sticks, it could have been maybe 3 or 4-0. It would have been a completely different game.
Also, the pattern between their wins, the back 4, all their last year, the midfield, all their last year. I know Florian Wirtz played yesterday, but he was on the left, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's the theme, I think, and I think just going back to basic, back to what you know. Don't try and fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, it'll be
brilliant. Yeah.
And I'm going to touch on City real quick. Ryan Cherky, back from injury, absolutely bossing it.
Scored a goal before.
Playing unbelievable.
He's a great football player.
I think I really enjoy Cherky and also Reinders. He hasn't done much.
I like Reinders.
He hasn't done much, but you don't have to do it.
Exactly. No,
I like that Cherky's more than an Instagram because Cherky used to be one that you used to see in like international football when they were doing warm-ups, just lumping volleys into the top corner
Just
every single training session, and then never playing for France. And then he was as far as I was aware, he literally only existed if he had a bib on. And then once they start playing and he plays for City, he's now ripping up the Premier League without a bib on. So it's
and I gotta say, you don't think
it,
but he was only born in 2003.
Yeah,
he is not old at all.
It makes us look old.
Like,
I don't know. He makes us look. I mean, full beard. Yeah. I can barely grow sideburns. Like, goodness me.
It's November. You shouldn't have to.
Well, no, exactly. But I can't grow a stash either. So there's no point.
I still think there's a fragility about Man City though.
They're not the monsters they used to be, are they?
No.
I think the problem is though their current strategy is put it to Haaland, he'll put it in the back of the net. Yeah. Currently, I don't think there's sort of like there's obviously a few other people scoring goals in the team, but realistically, I saw the sort of stat for goals this season. Haaland had about 13, and then the next one was a Burnley player who scored those two. Yeah, who scored those 2 own goals against Burnley.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It'll be an interesting WSL as well this weekend.
Of course.
Quite a very tight league, but Arsenal and Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea, admittedly, at the last 19 meetings have won 12 against Arsenal, so you wouldn't really put it past them. But 3 points between 1st and 3rd. Be very interesting. Sam Kerr back. She could, after an 18-month hiatus, scored against London City, who admittedly aren't exactly aren't powerhouses, but.
Well, London City Lionesses, I think they're one of those teams that will rise. They're the only privately owned team in the league.
Yeah.
And I think they will rise. I mean, they got promoted this year in the mid-table.
It'd be interesting.
They're doing better than Liverpool, and West Ham are still failing to put on points.
West Ham still failing to score a goal, I think, this year, actually.
With minus 16 goal difference. Liverpool still yet to play Aston Villa at
next,
some point.
Next games.
I'm just going to ask this question, because I'm just going to segue away from football immediately. We touched it. We had a good talk about football. What are your best teams ever? Full stop. Question mark. Best teams ever. It's a very open-ended question, I know. Yeah. But what do you think?
As a cricket fan, for me, mine was the ODI World Cup winning squad for the cricket in 2019, captained by Owen Morgan and followed by the likes of Ben Stokes, Josh Butler, Joe Root, Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow opening partnership, Jofra Archer and Mark Wood and Adil Rashid for the bowling. Just an absolutely incredible lineup, and I think that was the best team in 2019 for ODI. Unfortunately, we have dropped off a lot.
Massive based on last week.
Don't talk to me about last week.
Favourite team?
I'm going to change it up from what we were talking about in rehearsals. I'm going to go for Brazil in 2002. Well, no, not Brazil in 2002, 1998. Ronaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, like that Brazil generation. I don't think there's a great deal of beating them. Or France 2018.
Yes.
Mbappe, Griezmann,
Charlie,
Pogba.
quickly.
I'm going to go Barcelona, just the whole Guardiola era.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't need to explain really.
I don't blame
No, I know.
Not that we have time, but
And I'll just quickly say my motorsport one. I'll just
there you go.
Back to F1. Back to
I'll
F1.
just quickly say it. I'll say Ferrari because they've
say
just
Michael-
been
you'll say Michael Schumacher.
history
Yeah,
of
you'll say
Ferrari. We'll just say the history of Ferrari, just full stop throughout the whole of F1. They're their own team throughout the whole of F1. Their history is, and
So
basically there we go.
the top 4 teams
There we
in
go.
all, the top 4 teams in all of Salford are Barcelona, England, Brazil, and Michael Schumacher. Those are the best 4 teams that we can produce.
That's what it is.
That's what brings you a shock
There
sport,
we go.
guys.
We can do Michael Schumacher and Lewis
we've covered
Hamilton.
football, we covered Formula 1, we covered rugby league, WSL, best team ever. It's been a great
been a
sports
busy
show,
show.
guys.
It's been a fantastic sport.
It's been fantastic.
Brilliant working with you lot.
Brilliant work. So let's wrap this up.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch it on YouTube later.